Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the I'll Try That podcast. This week we are going to the heart of the east of London to try Magic Spells Brewery. First time Magic Spells have ever come on featured on the podcast. So we're really excited to try these. But first, let's go to the hot topic. And I believe, Matthew Barber, you've got a bit of a surprise in store.
It's me, yes. Yes, you guys we'll all fondly remember an episode we did at the back end of last year with Stewart Brewing. We had a fantastic, of course, we are big fans of Stewart Brewing at the I'll Try That podcast. We had a fantastic conversation with Nathan Vickers, who's the head brewer of their pilot brewery, which is responsible for their Project 7 series. Do you remember the beers that we had from the Project 7 series?
Yeah.
One in particular
delicious.
that went down, that was really popular, particularly with yourselves.
The White Affogato.
The White Affogato.
Went down so well.
Delicious.
They lastly had that one final keg, I think, that was going down to, or one final barrel that was going down to a
pub in London.
Yeah. So
I think it was like Pimlico or something.
Pimlico.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, we've kept in touch, which is nice. And we are very lucky and privileged to have received a couple of early sights, or tastes probably is more appropriate, of the forthcoming beer. And actually, I think, Joe, you've had some, you've tried it, drab as you are in the process of trying it, possibly. And I am the ghost of beer yet to come, because I haven't had it yet. So, what are we talking about? What are you getting your laughing gear around at the moment, Rich?
So I'm currently sipping on the mango and coconut sour lasse. So I was looking at they sent us 3 different ones over.
Is it Lasse or Lassie?
Lassie, sorry, there is an I. I've currently just news for everybody. I've currently been diagnosed and I have to wear glasses now, which is...
I was going to say, because a sour lass was an ex-girlfriend of mine.
But yeah, so I'm currently having the mango and coconut sour lassi. I've been on a bit of a coconut binge this weekend, predominantly on coconut-based cocktails, so I thought I should possibly finish my weekend off with a coconut-based beverage.
Ooh. And do you like pina coladas?
I love pina coladas, and I particularly like dancing in the rain.
Oh, crikey.
Oh, there you go.
I'm more into champagne. Sorry, let's not go any further down the line with that. We got that one, and I had before me, because I was going to show you guys, I'm sure you've seen them, but have another look again. They're quite eye-catching. Actually, this is the one I was a little bit more excited about, personally, just because of the suggested flavours, but they have also sent us a pineapple and grapefruit lilt shake.
Yes.
I really had to concentrate to get those words out of my face. In one piece. I think I like the sound of that because I always liked lilt growing up. But obviously that's one that's going to be, I feel like that's going to pack quite a tropical punch. If that's fair to say. I realise I haven't actually said this is an IPA, I think, isn't it? Have I gone completely mad? Yeah, Lilt Shake Pale Ale. 5.5%? 4.5, sorry.
It's really interesting you say IPA. Are you sure that is a pale ale?
Or pale ale. Lilt Shake Pale Ale.
Really fascinating, because it tasted, when I had it, like a sour. It was really quite sweet. And it didn't taste like an IPA or pale ale at all. It was more... but then Stewart Brewing like to do this, right? They like to take, their Pilot 7 series like to take kind of what you're expecting to taste and then just flip it on its head. Like that White Affogato stout that we had, but then it tasted more like a pale ale than anything else, like a sweetened pale ale than a stout, didn't it?
Oh, I was going to say, well, the mango and coconut sour lassi is definitely a sour. I can 100% say that. It's not that they've done it well. It's not an overpowering, intense sour sort of thing. We talked about who did the nice, like the beginner, the nice, really nice sours we tried recently.
Vault City,
yeah. So it's a bit on the level with Vault City and their level of sour. So I'm really enjoying sipping it.
Big claim, that one. They claim that one. Vault City are known for their sours worldwide. That's all they make are sours. So that's good. That's good though. I think Nathan's doing a good job if you're comparing his sours to Vault City's. I think he's going in the right direction. That's for sure.
I'm curious. Is that like going to turn into a bit of a local derby of sours as well? I'd like to plot on a map the distance between Stewart Brewing and Vault City. In fact, hold the line callers. I'm going to check that out because that's
I'd
quite
imagine as well within that catchment area. There's probably quite a few other fantastic craft Scottish brewers that would also want to throw their sour into the ring for your contemplation.
Well, this one is in collaboration with Brewtoon.
Yes, who are Brewtoon?
I've never heard of
Geordies,
Brewtoon.
aren't they? We're sure we've covered them. They are Geordies. There's not just I'm jumping on the stereotype of the tune. Yeah. I'm sure Brewtoon. Who did we talk? I think maybe even Nathan himself had mentioned that there was an upcoming and previous
award-winning craft beer brewed in the most eastern point of mainland Scotland. We are Brewtoon in Peterhead, not your average brew. Peterhead, is that Newcastle?
Yeah, not far away.
Okay. So, but these guys, they do specialise in kettle sours, like Vault City. So this is maybe where you're getting like a bit of the sour beer, like kind of magic coming, is by these guys bringing their kind of like sour eggs to the party.
Oh, I like that.
Sour eggs to the party.
Sour egg.
What have I just heard?
What was the phrasing I was going for?
If I was to host a party and you brought sour eggs, I'd be asking you to leave.
It was an eggs in all basket and bringing like fun or something to the party. Anyway, I mixed up a few things.
I am just going to fess up early doors and just say it was very gracious of you to let me get away with the fact that Peterhead was near Newcastle. It's bloody miles away. But I also wanted to come back in the spirit of going back. Stewart and Vault City are 10 miles away from each other, so actually they are further than I thought that might have been the case. But it is a bit of a. I think that is almost case.
Bit of a stone's throw, isn't
it? That is like you must have a strong arm.
For certain people, not myself. A cannon for an arm.
That sounds like a local derby of sours anyway. So, well, maybe we do a little bit more on them to compare and contrast a little bit later on. But those are the new and exciting options from the Project 7 series. I say not resting on their laurels. The idea is to go and innovate. And actually, but though that's probably quite an interesting precedent to set for what we're going to talk about next, I think, because we're going to talk a bit more about Magic Spells, right?
Magic Spells, an independent brewery located in the heart of East London, owned and operated by the talented Jas Hare, which I imagine is a name. Jas Hare, what a name, right?
That is a great name.
I was wondering if it might have been Hare, but it's Hare, isn't it? Because also that's the point, is it feeds into the one that we're tasting, which is called Hackney Hare.
That's it. We are trying their Hackney Hare Pale Ale, 4.2%, with a very dapper hare in a suit on the front.
Yeah, you nearly said rabbit, didn't you? And I'd understand why.
I did. It's got fluffy ears.
Yeah.
But as I said in the upset, I don't know if I said it in the upfront, but I actually haven't come across Magic Spells Brewery. So I've just been kind of reading through. So sorry if it sounds a bit like I'm reading off a website, because it's true. But they're saying that their mission is to push the boundaries of craft beer by experimenting with unique styles, flavors, and recipes, while staying true to the traditional craft beer ethos. Our brewers combine traditional brewing methods with innovative flavors, resulting in a distinctive range of beers that are destined to please any palate.
Oh, okay.
I think I believe them in terms of what they say, particularly about pushing the boundaries. When I looked at the can and I read 4.2% pale ale, I was not expecting what I think we've got here. This is very tangy to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's got tang, real tang. And Cascade, Columbus, and Motueka hops. We're just going to be battling with that one for the rest of time. And so I don't quite know how they've managed to do. Is it because it's pale ale and Cara malts that have given this tang? I poured it out, and actually you can see I've only got a tiny bit left, but it's almost quite amber in colour. It was darker than I was expecting, and that's possibly adding to this kind of... Yeah, I'm just saying the same word at you over and over again. It's quite tangy to me.
I was agreeing with you about tang is the right word here.
Yeah, and I'm finding that he's possibly inhibiting my feeling of, like, thirst quenching and refreshness. But then maybe that's the idea is again, we're doing something a little bit different with the pale ale idea. So it might be that it was just challenging my expectations possibly a little bit too much on this occasion.
I'm just kind of fully on board with what you were saying, Barbs, about it being all tangy. I'm just giving Hackney Hare and Magic Spells Brewery a bit of a carrot here, because I've just noticed that it's an 0124 sell by date. So, yeah, tanginess might be very apt right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's just put it out there that I don't have valid taste buds. I know Trappers is going to jump on that and say this explains everything you've ever said about beer and why I've been so wrong in the past. I also, I was sat here going, I don't like it, but I didn't think it was off. I did smell it first, and I was like, that could be off. So that's making me think that it definitely was, but I didn't get that. In my head, an off beer tastes like, fusty, slightly mouldy, almost like wet cardboard, which wasn't what I got. I don't know. Maybe that's a sign you've pushed it too far, as if someone drinks your beer and they can't tell if it's off or not. That was good. I feel validated in not liking it.
So are you boys not enjoying it then?
Yeah, I was going to say, I've consumed quite a lot of this.
I've nearly finished it.
To Barb's very first point about this, it's not one I've expected at all from a pale ale, but then in complete service to Magic Spells, they weren't expecting you to drink it after its sell by date. That's why they put a sell by date on it.
Write it off then, chaps. Get it while it's fresh. Interesting though, while I'm on the topic of what it says on the can, bottle conditioned product, but it comes from a can. Store upright, pour slowly and serve chilled before the expiry date. They even mention that? No, they don't really.
So Magic Spells, going back to the brewery, they are vegan friendly. Like all their beers are vegan friendly, which means that they don't have they don't brew with those fish guts that quite a lot of brewers actually do, which it has a fancy name, but that's basically what they are. And then they have a whole host of... And what do you think of the artwork on the website, guys, for all their different beers, which must obviously translate onto cans?
I'm umming and ahhing over it. Some of it I like, and some of it I don't. I'm not a big fan of when they've kind of got, I don't know, it's a bit pop arty, isn't it? Is that pop art the right word?
One of those is very pop art, yeah.
Yeah, and I've never,
as far as I know.
I've never been a big fan of pop art myself. I think that's the right one. It's okay, but it's not grabbing me. It's if that makes sense. I'm not sold on it 100%.
Feels a little bit like leaning on the art quite heavy. I mean, well, I'm also trying to divorce myself from the opinion of the beer, given the context we've just had as well. But it doesn't say to me that you're drinking this beer because you know the brewery, because of the credentials of the brewery. Go, look at how arty and snazzy this looks. Do you know what I mean? There's one which is kind of like, is it like a witch lady?
Yeah,
it's like a graffiti artist witch lady thing. You'd almost expect some kind of like theme along these images, but I'm not catching it. Could just be that I'm an artistic philistine and I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, I don't know. A little bit odd.
You've got the Clockwork Orange guys. Like
is that who they are?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm just Clockwork Orange-esque. I'm not too sure now.
Yes, trilbies, curvy moustaches.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was Clockwork Orange. But then, like, what are they? They're called pince-nez, aren't they? You know, glasses that don't have arms.
Oh, okay.
Pince-nez.
I like that.
Pince-nez. It's one of those words. It's like croissant. I can't say that word without sort of like going a bit weird inside. I think it's pince-nez.
But I quite like the Pinario art on their next to Hug My Soul.
Oh yeah, the other pale ale they do.
Yeah, the pale ale. I quite like the look of that, but I'm not a fan of the kind of the characters they've got on here. If you're a fan of design thing, and you possibly need to set me straight on this, but there's lots of different things going on here. It all seems a little bit muddled because I went, magic spells. That's why there's like a sort of witch lady, and then there's the artwork for Finsbury Fly Girl is almost a little bit graphic novel, like almost like oh my god, what are the things? Animated books that aren't books. Like comics. For God's sake. Animated books. And then there's almost, I think is it Peggy? You know, the Hug My Soul lady one? And I started to go, I thought there was like a Magic Spells vibe. We're going to have, you expect like, some concoctions and sort of a wizard or witch as we have here. And they'll be brewing, some mystery magical things. And it's all just a bit, let's have that one now, please. But again, it's not really my forte. Have you guys been onto the beer archive button? So beers they've clearly brewed in the past.
Yeah, it's extensive, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you seen the beer called Dangerous Game?
No.
Right at the bottom, which is one game, one outcome. His goal is revenge. The lager is specifically brewed to mark the release of Dangerous Game, the movie in 2017.
Which is an Amar Adaptia production starring Callum Best and Amar Adaptia and directed by... it's an Amar Adaptia production and it also stars him. That's giving me The Room vibes, if I'm quite honest. Yeah. A Tommy Wiseau.
I'm just gonna Google the film Dangerous Game and see where it came out.
Weirdly, I didn't catch that one.
No.
No, I've not heard of this before.
Was this part of Beer Swap Shop?
It was.
Did it come from you, Joe? And was it given to you in a goodie bag?
No, I bought it at my local off license, which I grabbed off the shelves.
Here we go. So Dangerous Game. It's a dangerous game when Chris gets mixed up with the Russian mafia and Algerian gangsters while trying to help his best friend pay off a large debt. He has to decide if he puts his career on the rocks by embarking on a spree of dangerous robberies that could end up with him in prison or possibly dead. Anyone give me the IMDb rating for it?
4.2.
A little bit lower.
3.8.
3.6.
That was what I was going to go to next. Well, if that film, no, I feel like this is being harsh to someone. I was going to say if that film was a type of beer, I would have picked craft lager.
Yeah.
not in that it wasn't well received, but it was like, is it the vibe of like ordinary bloke but hard as nails and just a bit different?
It's like every film that Jason Statham has starred in.
There is a distinct in that artwork. There is a distinct budget Jason Statham sort of vibe, isn't there?
Yeah, that's what I got.
I feel very catty saying all of this, and maybe it's just because I drank enough beer and tried to pretend it was nice.
They do a lot of work in the local area to support LGBTQ plus rights and sponsor and support the community there. They also do a hell of a lot of work from what I'm reading, like kind of working with artists, both musically and graphic and kind of creative artists in the space. So they usually sponsor and provide the beer to like events where like up and coming artists are going to be playing at.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
So that's to try and help promote and kind of get attention for. And apparently Jas Hare is also a DJ of he's got a collective of electro, techno, acid house and ambient DJs that are synonymous with dancing and drinking good beer in the East End. So quite like the party scene by the sound of things.
Yeah, he's a man of many talents.
Yeah.
Someone had to do that. I'm sorry.
Shall I do the numbers on them? They have on Instagram, they have 2.8k followers. 2.3k followers. And I don't have them on Twitter/X, fortunately. So, yeah, I think Magic Spells covered a bit about who they are and what they have and the information we've managed to clean off the website. Haven't come across them in real life. And Barbara and I have tried some out of date of their beer, which we weren't impressed by, understandably. So, I think give Magic Spells, if you do spot them on tap in the East London, east part of London, then do give them a go, because I'm sure from the way they talk about their beers and they know how to throw a good party, and certainly know how to make some good beer by the sound of things.
Yeah, should possibly get better film choices. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, they talk the talk, but we have absolutely no idea if they walk the walk on this one, unfortunately. So,
tangy is the way we
tangy. It's tangy. That's how I could.
Tangy's the take home.
Trying to go positive and not identifying that the beer was off. There we go.
I quite want a t-shirt that just says tangy across it.
Tang. I don't even want the Y. I want just tang.
I saw a woman today in Bath with a jumper on that just said extra cheese.
And that's all we have time for this week's episode of the I'll Try That podcast. And so from me, Joe, Rich,
Barbara, and Simo,
goodbye. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram,
Twitter,
I'll try that podcast.com,
and watch us on YouTube.
Goodbye now.